So let's try to come up with an example here. Let's say that you bought, a random example. Let's say that you bought Tinder Plus, okay? What was the feeling that you were trying to satisfy there? All right, get your mind out of the gutter. You're obviously trying to find a meaningful and lasting relationship, okay? Welcome back to another video. This topic is near and dear to my heart. I know that these videos don't get as many views on the channel, but I really do think that this is valuable content. This is content that I actually value. This is content that I think will actually help somebody out there. It really helped me when I read this book, Atomic Habits. This is where all of these lessons are coming from. And before we get started, I want to just please ask you to just gently hit that like button. And if you hit the like button, this will help my videos get spread, help people get the good news. And hit the links down below if you would, please. That'll get you some money. It'll get me some money, help support the channel so that I can not go back to my job because I don't like it. Anyways, with all of that being said and the cry for help being over, let's get into the video. But first, we're going to start with a lesson. One interesting story that was in Atomic Habits. This is worth the price of entrance in itself. It's about oatmeal and the marketing of oatmeal. So when they were marketing oatmeal, this is a story in the book. Definitely recommend you guys read it. They actually marketed oatmeal as something that will give you energy every 24 hours for 24 hours, but you have to eat it every 24 hours. So that's a fun fact. The reason why people eat oatmeal for breakfast is because it was originally marketed as something that needs to be eaten every 24 hours. So you can thank some genius marketer out there for making oatmeal a staple of our breakfast in America. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Number 2 is the basal ganglia. So we're going to talk about the basal ganglia here. The basal ganglia is essentially responsible for routine activities. So things that you do over and over and over, things that you do the same exact way each time, things that you do without even thinking about it. So the reason why we're going to talk about the basal ganglia is because as human beings and just animals in general, we operate on the sun, right? When the sun comes up, we have a chemical reaction to it. When the sun goes down, we have a chemical reaction to it. We go to sleep. Most of us go to sleep anyway, some of us don't. But anyways, we have a 24-hour cycle that we operate on. We have things that we do without even thinking about it. Your heart pumping, sweating, things of that nature. There's things that you don't even think about doing that you do. These are the things that are operated by different parts of the brain, such as the basal ganglia. So things like tying your shoes. I'm sure you didn't think about, that SpongeBob song. Loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool. I'm sure you didn't think about that last time you tied your shoes. You just do it automatically. I'm sure you didn't think about what you were going to get to eat out of the fridge. You just did it. You didn't think about going to the bathroom. You just did it. You didn't think about, cleaning up after the bathroom. You just did it. So a lot of those things that we do, we just do them. And one interesting story from the book, I believe this was Atomic Habits, was that there was a guy there that he learned how to eat bad foods. Basically, he learned how to eat these terrible foods that were making him fat, but he couldn't remember anything. Even though he couldn't remember anything, he was still doing these things that he just naturally would do. He would go to the fridge, he would open up his bad food, he would eat it, and he started to get fat. So all that to say, you are not as smart as you think you are. So if you think you can break your habits are much deeper than your conscious attempt to break them. All right, so you have to go much deeper. So we're about to get a little deeper. Number 3 of 11, and we're going to do a bonus one at the end, is structure your environment. So I'm going to show you guys, while I'm saying this, a couple of clips of my environment, but I'm just going to describe it right now on camera. Basically, I've got my environment structured exactly how I would like it. Over to my left, my bed is already made. It's already ready for me to go to bed on time. And my sweats are folded over there. I set my room to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the optimal temperature for sleep. Why We Sleep, great book. Give it a look. And my camera, it's always set up. Tripod is always set up right in front of me. If you guys have noticed, you guys have been following the channel, I've been getting out a lot more videos because tripod's always set up, bed's always ready, workout shoes are always ready. That's the next thing. My workout shoes are always ready. There's always a workout outfit that's already folded and above my workout shoes. So it essentially makes it easier for me to do good things than it is to do bad things. So when I got this barracks room, they gave me a TV. I told them, hey, take this TV, take it back. So I got rid of my TV, put my microwave there. I don't have a TV. So now it is more difficult for me to watch TV than it is for me to go work out. So what do? I go work out. Other thing, in the corner, we got my broom, right? So it's very easily, pretty much the only thing I have to clean in this room is I have to sweep. So broom is very easily accessible. So it's easy for me to keep my stuff clean. Vitamins, I have them out. They're ready to be taken. I take them every morning and I can see them. It's a visual cue. So that's what we're gonna get into next. You're not as smart as you think you are. So you need those visual cues. You need the environment to be very easy. You need predictability because, like I said, like the sun, we do the same thing every 24 hours. So if you do the same bad thing every 24 hours, you can do the same good thing every 24 hours. So number 4, be definite about what you will do and when you will do it, okay? I can't stress that enough. Be definite about what you will do and when you will do it. Will you work out in the morning at 6 a.m., right? That's different than saying, I will work out more. No, you will not work out more. Will you take your vitamins after you go to the bathroom? Will you take a shower after you get back from the gym? Will you put on your workout clothes after you wake up and stretch? So we need to know exactly what we're gonna do, or else we just kind of start drifting through life and we don't actually get any of those things done. Will you make a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Will you make a video on the weekend? When are you gonna do these things? Your body needs very specific instructions, or else you'll just get distracted, right? We're very visual creatures. We see something, we get distracted, we get a call, we go do this, we go do that, and then we just aren't doing what we're supposed to do. So we need a definite plan, a 24-hour plan, and we just need to stay to it. So anyways, that's number 4. Number 5 is make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. So we kind of already went over that. Structure your environment. Make it easier for you to do the good thing than it is for you to do the bad thing. If I wanted to watch TV all day on the weekends instead of getting my videos done, I would have to physically go to somebody else's room, watch TV with them, and then come back. It's easier for me to just sit down right here. The camera's already right there. It's easier for me to make my video than it is for me to take the TV break, which I still will take the TV break every once in a while. Got to hang out with some people, but it's easier for me to just make the video. So that's usually what happens. I make the video. Other little tips that I wrote down here were put your exercise clothes in your car. Let's say you drive to work, put your exercise clothes in your car. Maybe you change at work, and so that then when you go back from work, you're already in your exercise clothes. Then all you have to do is drive to the gym and just start working out. Some other things that I put on this list: don't buy bad foods. Make it easier for yourself. Get a shopping list and only buy good foods, because it's easier to not do something than it is to resist doing something, right? It's easier to not have the option than it is to resist doing that bad option. Number 6, gym mind hack. So one thing that I do sometimes to get myself to go to the gym, I mean, it's been easy now, but sometimes when you're first getting started, a good way to hack yourself into going to the gym is promising yourself that you're not going to do that much in the gym. You just say, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I promise myself I'm going to go in, I'm going to just put my gym clothes on, and then I'm going to walk for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to leave. And then you actually go do that. And then you do that the next day. And then next thing you know, maybe you're walking 10, 20 minutes, and you leave, all right? And you keep on doing that until you realize that you're starting to build up that habit of showing up to the gym. And once you build up that habit of showing up to the gym, it starts to feel weird when you don't show up to the gym. And if you miss a day, you'll come back. And if you start to make friends, people will say, hey, where were you yesterday? You start to get that social pressure of showing up at the gym. So anyways, a little mind hack: show up at the gym for 10 minutes. That's number 6. Number 7 is create visual cues. So one thing that I put down on my list was putting things next to each other, right? So we already talked about it a little bit, but one thing that a lot of people out there don't do for their dental and oral health is actually flossing and actually using a mouthwash. So putting all 3 of them right next to each other is that mental cue that some people might need to actually floss and actually use that mouthwash. So actually, funny story that I believe is in this book as well is that people didn't used to brush their teeth nearly as much until they put mint into the toothpaste. And the reason why they put mint into the toothpaste is because it made it more satisfying and people's mouth felt more clean. So people started doing more toothbrushing. So a lot of these cues, a lot of these mind hacks, it's funny because, like I continue to say throughout this video, we are not as smart as we think we are. So those mental cues, just mental hacks, that's what helps me get through my day. That's what helps me make sure that I'm continually doing my good habits. All right, number 8, make the cues for your good habits obvious. Make the cues for your bad habits disappear. So we already talked about that a little bit with the food, and with me having my camera right in front of me, I'm already ready to film, versus the food. If I don't have any bad food in my fridge, the bad habit just disappeared. So there's no cue. Let's say I really loved eating ice cream. If I have a bunch of ice cream in my freezer, then every time I see that ice cream in my freezer, my brain is going into overdrive. My brain is ready for that ice cream. My brain is ready to feel all that, savory goodness on the back of my tongue. I would love to feel that goodness, right? But if that cue doesn't exist, I don't ever get that cue. I don't get that urge to go get ice cream. Whereas, for example, if you have ice cream that's at the store versus you have something else that's more healthy in the fridge, that cue is going to have to be strong enough to get you to not eat that thing in front of you and instead get in your car, go all the way to the store, and it's just more difficult to actually go get that ice cream at that point. So the key is to make your environment where the good things are easy and the bad things are more difficult. That could be even something like when you get done with your Xbox, you put it in a closet. You unplug everything, put your Xbox in the closet, you put your TV in the closet. Now you just made your bad habit, if you want to call it that, more difficult to access. So number 10 is breaking cultural norms. So it can feel weird to break cultural norms, to break the things that are expected of you, to not speak the way that you're expected to speak, to not wear what you're expected to wear, not be the way that you're expected to be culturally, and even just the influence of your family, the way your family, like little microculture, expects you to be. It can be weird to break those cultural norms. And I just want to acknowledge people out there that it is difficult, right? When people expect you to be one way, you kind of want to be that way. It's easier to be that way because you'll meet less resistance. But it's natural to feel that way. That's all I wanted to say about that, is that if you feel strange about trying to do something different, trying to do something that's good for yourself, shrug it off and it's going to be okay. And the last one before we get into the impulse buy checklist is create a small culture around you. So we already talked about setting your environment, but in addition, creating a small culture around you means letting people know what you do and don't do, letting people know what you will and will not accept, letting people know how they will and will not treat you. You create a little small culture around yourself so that you can create the life that you want. So if somebody's being negative around you, you don't accept that negativity. You don't reciprocate that negativity. So that's the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And now let's go through this impulse buy checklist. So the last thing that I want to go through with you guys is an impulse buy checklist. So this impulse buy checklist is something that you're supposed to go through after you've made an impulse buy or something that you would deem to be an impulse buy. So number 1, what did you buy? Number 2, why did you buy it? Number 3, did you plan to buy it? Number 4, what feeling was the purchase conducted to satisfy? Or in other words, what is the actual underlying thing that you wanted to satisfy there? Did you get something because you wanted to feel loved? Did you get something because you were hungry? Did you get something because you wanted to feel entertained? What was the reason, and why did you feel like you needed to satisfy that by buying this thing? And the last one is there a free or cheap way to satisfy that feeling? So let's try to come up with an example here. Let's say that you bought random example. Let's say that you bought Tender Plus, okay? What was the feeling that you were trying to satisfy there? All right. Get your mind out of the gutter. You're obviously trying to find a meaningful and lasting relationship, okay? So once we, obviously safety precautions in mind, you could go meet up with people. You could go, meet real people. You could ask your friends, ask around, tell them like, hey, I'm single. I'd like to meet somebody. Do you know anybody? Start, doing it the free way, the old-fashioned way. Anyways, or let's say that you got a brand new pair of shoes. Are you actually getting the value out of those shoes? Are your current shoes actually broken? Or, what was the feeling that you were trying to satisfy? Did you want a feeling of self-importance, or are your shoes genuinely busted? Like, that's the process that I want you guys to go through. So anyways, hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Hope you guys got a little bit of value out of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.